What's going on, everyone? This is Dr. Mephisto and welcome to the ride. We're here in Toronto today, and the guest I'm getting is a former dancer in the music and dancing industry for about 20 years, and he's also a big shot promoter in the house scene here in Toronto, and I can't wait for you to discover him. Let's go.
What up? What he said?
Good, man.
Finally got out of this jazz?
Finally. Alright, let's do this.
Indeed.
KK, so give me a quick intro for people who don't know you.
My name's Pradeep Verghese. I'm an avid music lover, from house to funk to jazz to soul. House mainly. It's our forte. Promote and throw jams. Been doing that for a little while. Been part of the house scene for since the late 80s. Yeah, that's basically that in a nutshell. Music is my life.
Yeah, so yeah, I like to take a step back and kind of like talk about where you're coming from and
Yeah, no worries. You know, I was born and raised in Burlington. How I got into the scene in terms of music, we went to all ages back in the day. This is like the late 80s, 87 to 89. I was 13, 14. It's kind of crazy because I don't know if I had kids right now. I wouldn't fucking. Well, can I swear on this, Jazz?
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, you know, the folks had let us out, and the first time I was mainly into hip hop and reggae when I was a kid, b-boying and all that jazz. But then house touched me in a different way. I remember the first time I heard a house track was I think it was 1987 or 1988. I walked into this place called Stars, and I heard this track. It's Donnie the It Ron Hardy remix, and you know, at the time I was listening to Eric B. Rakim, Biz Markie, Big Daddy Kane, and those guys were still fresh back then. And then I remember walking into this place and I heard this sound. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And that did it for me. From that day on, I was like, "Yo, this is changing me," because also this is the first time I see house dancers too. And back then, house dancing was a little bit different. I guess it was more close to lofting or whatnot. And even the house style was different. People used to get dressed up, like it was all suspenders, polka dot t-shirts, fucking. It was cool shit. It's the '80s, you know what I mean? But it was fun. But the vibe was completely different. Completely different than hip hop. People weren't really battling. People were dancing together at those times. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was like, yo, this is different. Don't get me wrong, back in those days, I used to love the battle jazz. That's when my knees worked really well. But the house scene, yeah, that's what touched me, and that changed my life basically. From that moment on, to this day, that song gives me shivers. I can play that song 10 times in the house and Sash will kill me, but I don't give a fuck. It's a beautiful thing. And then from there on, I got to meet other house heads. Like the first DJ who dropped that was Francis Baptiste, rest in peace. He's a guy that gave us a little slice of New York, because he lived in New York before he came to Burlington, and he had crazy. We were listening to the stuff that the guys in the city were listening to when we were kids, and that's how it started. Then from there on, we went to 23 Hop and a whole bunch of Focus and a whole bunch of places here that are all gone now. Indeed.
So you were dancing at some point too.
Well, those days I was more into hip hop, and then I got into house, and then my dance days stopped when I was like in my late 20s, early 30s.
Right.
I can do it, but it's not like how it used to be able to, and it's frustrating.
I see.
But I wasn't a pro, like, you know, I didn't take it to no pro. We danced.
So it's just the party spirit.
Yeah, but like, you know, the people that we danced with, there were some hardcore dancers, like Mob Top Crew, some of those guys, Walker Sample, Dwight and Walker used to clean house back in the day. Not too many guys could touch them. from when they're in their prime. You know what I mean? This is like 80s and early 90s. Pre actually Mop Top and pre a few other cats too. But
So hold on, the Mop Top used to come to Burlington or to
no. Like there's a few guys. Well, one of them I think is friends with Walker. Yeah, so one of them's come to Stars before. That's those dudes. Two of those dudes. I don't know them that well, to tell you the truth. That's who Walker sample, man. It's dope.
And then, so when did you start promoting?
Well, it depends on what you want to say. Like when I professionally started promoting, or when I actually started throwing parties. Because I've been throwing parties for a long time.
Yeah.
Like since the 90s, but not really. I didn't really do it for no recognition. I was a part of a few things. But I would say professionally started like in 2010. Like basically in and around the time when my knees started like being like, yo.
Yeah.
Like 2008, 2007 actually. After a few
Also,
years.
right when I actually started coming to Toronto, actually.
Actually, yeah, you come to all our early jams. I'd all see you fresh.
Well, okay, because when I came to Toronto in the beginning, I used to go to Toika, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, but that was Toika Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you came to our patio jams.
I came when I moved here.
That was 2010.
That was 12 because I moved here in 2012.
Yeah, that's when we started it. You start like the year that you came was my, I think, second or third year of promoting.
Right.
You used to come to the boxing loft once in a while. We used to do jams there. I seen you there a few times. What else?
Oh yeah, the boxing loft. That was a sick space.
Yeah, that was.
For the record, it was like a space in Toronto with like a boxing ring in the middle.
It was actually a pal's boxing studio.
Right.
Emil Reed. He trained. You know all the stars that come to the show because of TV, of TV shows and all. He trains all those dudes. Well, he trained a lot of them, but yeah, he liked house music. It's a nice little raw, beautiful space. It's hard to find spaces like that now in the city.
Right. Well, there's still some boxing gym that you can.
Oh, there is, but the ones that'll be down to change it in town. Like Emil still has a spot. It's in Parkdale. It's a cute little spot, but there's something about that spot. Like we got away with some murderous sound. That's the first time Zephyr and Saint was here. He was there. Stan Zeph, the first time he came here was there. There's a few first timers that get there. One time we had Josh Milan in there. That's pretty crazy.
So,
Blaze.
For the record, like what kind of like big name did you promote for?
Like big names, like you mean as an artist?
Yeah, like artists you guys brought in the city.
Like those are the in terms of the first, we were the first people to bring Stan Zeph, Zephyr and Saint. First, in terms of first, but in terms of anyone else, like we brought down everyone. In terms of the music, the deep soulful house scene. Vic Lavender, Louis, like from the big names like Louis, even though Louis like a little bit more, he's a little mainstream now, whatever. From Antonio Casso, like underground shit, to Vic Lavender, to, man, I can't name an artist.
Yeah, you got Bodhisattva too, right?
Bodhisattva, yeah. Actually, the first time he came here was us and Jojo Flores.
Right.
He played at this club on King Street.
I mean, I saw that revival.
That was after.
Yeah.
And the first time we brought him was like at this kind of clubby place on King Street. That and the crowd, like the music was dope, but the crowd was kind of like a King Street crowd. It wasn't our vibe. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing, and he's such a nice dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Black Coffee. The first time Black Coffee came here, we were a part of that. When he played the music that I used to love.
Yeah.
Now he's more on the Afro tech scene or Afro tech sound. And kudos to that. It's just not my type of thing. He's huge now. But yeah, we actually had him play at two small things here, like little invites. But you can't do that now. He's way too expensive.
Right.
We were there right when the South African wave hit the city. Although, to tell you the truth, my first, like Black Coffee's first album in 2005, like Any Heads, we all know that. Like we were paying attention to from day one. From day one, we were paying attention. And then it took like 5 or 6 years till it really hit North America, I'd say. And like from WMC back in the day, the South African Invasion jams, it was that and the Tribe and Tambour jams that focused on Afro House. Actually, I can't say Tribe and Tambour focused on them, but they brought in some heavies. South African Invasion was like the premier Afro House scene or scene setter in North America. Back in those days, like all the artists dropped their first times, the tracks they first dropped for the first time they were all at that jam. It was nice.
Which one?
South African Invasion.
So that was in Toronto, or that was
No, that was in Miami, South Beach.
Right. So who for you in Toronto started playing Afro House, like the first person?
Oh, see, this is a
Tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one because realistically, it depends how far you go back. You want to go back to like Ron Trent and a few guys in the mid '90s. They were mixing Afrobeat. Ron Trent. Oh my God, what the fuck is his name? He used to live here. He lived here for a few years. Not Osalade. Osalade too. Back in when he first dropped, there's a few Afro House tracks that he kind of came into play too. Trini, that's it. Trini and Ron and all those guys. They added the Afrobeat elements, but it's more Afrobeat to house.
Right.
They kind of had that thing going on. But realistically, that was kind of like that was way pre Black Hawk and pre anyone from South Africa, really. In terms of mixing out the house with it, like, yeah, I guess that could be debated. I would say for me personally, I think it would be those guys. I think it would be some of the tracks that Ron and Trudy did, and maybe a few other cats. Like, you know,
I've heard.
I think Tribal House is different than Afro House. People can be like, oh, well, you can go back to Tribal House too. I'm like, yeah, you can, kinda, but. What have you heard?
It's definitely different, on my opinion. Like I used to hear a lot of
oh yeah, the indies on.
Yeah, I used to hear a lot of the Tribal House. Even when I started dancing, I heard a lot of like African influences. But for me, it reminded me a lot of like when you hear about the Afro-Cuban salsa.
Afro-Cuban. Well, you know what
I mean? Like it's salsa, but you have like.
I work, like, to tell you the truth, in the late '80s, there's a perfect song that kind of melds exactly what you just said. It's called, oh man, forgive me, man. We did a lot of acid back in those days. I'd have to. But yeah, it's a song it was produced in '88. Some producer from New York, South. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, it's exactly that, and it's 1988 when that dropped. You know what I mean? So the Afro elements really came in, like
now it's more. I find it's more central than the drum or part of the actual core of the beat. Before it was more like drum added.
Yes.
I find.
Yeah. No, true. Well, see, with Ron and them, they would get guys who play and all that. But yeah, that's what they did. They took little riffs and they'd be like. Ch-ch. Now it's progressed to what it is, and it's. I remember it's a beautiful thing. Like, I like all forms of house. Don't get me wrong. Like, house is house to me, and I love cultural elements of house because there's something rooty and something you just want to. If you're drawn to it, you're drawn to it. You know what I mean?
What do you think of electro? You know, the French brand side with all the David Guetta and all those guys.
It's not my cup of tea.
Not my thing.
No. Like that to me is like pop music.
Yeah.
Like anything that sounds poppy. Mind you, there's some Afro music that's poppy that I'm not the biggest fan of either.
Right.
There's some quieto and there's some like it's a little too poppy for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's to each their own. I'm kind of like I love it. Like I would love if I was one of those people that could love every type of music, but I'm not that dude.
Yeah. Apparently David Guetta was way more house oriented and then became more like electro, Bob Sinclair and all those guys.
Well, like even when he first started, David Guetta started doing his thing or whatever, there's a few producers that I know that worked with him back in the day. They're like, yeah, you know, he changed a little bit, but even the sounds from back then, it wasn't my cup of tea.
Right.
Like even now, like I don't even know how, like I won't be able to tell you because genres and subgenres and this and this and that. Like, what I consider deep house personally, and someone else considers deep house can be two totally different things. And I've learned that because I've talked to some young bucks. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is deep house." I'm like, "What the fuck? This is deep house. This is like something I don't even feel." Deep house to me is something I feel inside. That's what it is to me. It's not necessarily a sound, but it kind of is a sound, but it's something that touches me inside. I'm like, yo, this is hitting me. That's what deep house is to me. Deep soulful house, yes, that's pretty specific. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Deep soulful houses, but even that, like, it's different. It's good because everyone's identifying everything and they're getting very specific with everything. But
for me, deep house is I always identify this as a little bit by opposition of soulful.
Yeah.
Like when you have a lot of vocals, for me that ain't deep house.
No, that's soulful house.
Right.
There's a difference between that. I like deep soulful house when it's a little mix of both, but if it's all vocals, sometimes it could be a little much. But you gotta.
It's a little bit of disco and like funk included from what I feel.
Yeah.
And then deep house is really like just
Deep house.
Beats, just deep beats and
yeah, man, that's what deep house is to me.
And that's why a lot of house dancers associate way more to, well, especially like if you go away from lofting, like people who actually step, like they appreciate deep house because there's more material.
Well, that's why. That's what, like, probably that's why. Because as a dancer when I was a kid, that's what touched me, and those are the things that touched me. And even though I don't dance no more, that's still what touches me. Like I'm still like, yo, I've tried to, like, categorizing what I like. It goes according to feel, I guess. Like, I like all types of music, don't get me wrong. But even in every like genre of music, I like a certain style of music. Like
You're picky, yeah.
Yeah, I'm picky, yes.
Did you break?
There was a time, yes, long time ago, and I'm not breaking out that footage anytime soon. But breaker was different back then. You got it's changed so much from the late '80s and early '90s to now. Yo, I love how it is now. Like they got it. Like it's universal now.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Then it's in pockets, little things here, little things there, little crews here. Now it's everywhere. It's a beautiful thing. Like you could take your kids to a class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best.
They're trying to bring it to they're bringing it to the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I heard. That'd be kind of cool, man. Because, that would be amazing, actually.
What I heard is that they don't have any more money, so they try to like bring the break for that reason.
Oh, breakers don't like the whole.
No, the Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're just maybe it's a way to branch out to the young squads in a whole different genre because dance as a whole has grown so much too.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the day, there would be battles here and there. We'd have to rent out a fucking gymnasium, not even rent out. Just say, can we use the gymnasium? Rah rah rah, and it'd just be raw battles. And it's pretty raw back then. Sometimes fights would break out and shit like that. It was pretty freaking raw, man.
Yeah, it's the same in my country. That's why it's enjoyable though. It's not like filtered. There's no format. It's not watered down.
No, that was to tell you the truth. Those were kind of my favorite times. And although I don't condone violence or some of the things that were involved back then, that happened back then, I'm totally against all that shit. But that's what happened when you're at sometimes. If there's beefs, and sometimes there would be real beefs. What happens usually? It wasn't between the dancers. It's between people that come and two people who are beefing, and then they go at it.
Were you there when I don't know if back a few years back? It's 10 years almost. And what was that place? Lily's? No, not Lily's. That thing that is a snake in Latte now, where all the b-boys used to do their.
Oh yeah, or Andy Paul. Yeah, we used to throw on Thursdays then.
Were you there when the guy came and like shot in the ceiling?
No, but Andy, the owner called me. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" I'm like, "I have no idea." Like, no, I was not there.
But you're not promoting for this, right?
No. Like, see, I like got
Benzo's thing.
In between. Yeah, Benzo's dope, man. I like Benzo, but that came with it. Like, some of the people that I used to hang around with in the hip hop scene. Let's just say they weren't, they're streets.
Right.
They had to do what they had to do. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm friends with them. And I grew up with them. And I know what that entailed.
Mm-hmm.
Or entailed, sorry.
So, on another topic, what do you think about, with respect to organizing events, how Toronto is evolving right now?
Toronto is... You know what? We need more venues. We need more venues, and we need more people to, because to transfer on what we had, we need to have more venues, because now it's about festivals, a big organization, and big. That's what I see. Like I don't know how the club life is now, and I don't know how the youth, like if the youth do it, like because they have everything at their hand tips, right? Like they can throw a party at their house now. They don't need a DJ.
Right.
So it's a little bit more difficult than it was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, like some people quote unquote the golden era or whatever of promoting here. Like it all depends which time you're from. Like I know guys who were partying from in the early '80s. They're like, and back then is a piece of paper, little
right.
flyers. That's it. You know what I mean? Like the Assuns and all those guys. And in the village, like all the guys who were throwing parties down there too, was word of mouth. But as for it now, like I think because there's so many options, everything just kind of gets muted.
Right.
Like I'm trying to see people that are into transferring into the house that I like, and usually like the people that I see are all dancers.
Right.
They're the people that can appreciate the music, that type of house that I love. I'm like, yo.
I just saw a guy who was on the podcast 2 weeks ago.
That's the guy? Oh, no way.
Guy,
nice.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like,
yeah.
it's nice. One thing I love about our jam, Ubuntu, that's one thing that I love, because you guys are able to get some of the young people out, but it's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to talk about that actually eventually.
Yeah, but that's one jam where I'm like, honestly, I've been asked to be a part of a lot of other jams, and I'm no, that jam, that's why I'm a part, because I'm like, yo, this is a nice fucking meld, not only of ages, but of people too. It's still one of my favorite jams in the city, by far.
And to be honest, I have no idea how it happens.
Yo, but that's the most beautiful thing. Are you kidding me? That means it's fucking pure organic.
Yeah.
That's where the fucking love is from, brother.
Yeah.
It's not like you meant it. That means it just was, you had the concept and people were drawn to it. And it's working, man.
Yeah.
It's the shit.
Yeah.
Like when we have a packed out Ubuntu jam, I'm telling you, the vibe in there, it's
different every time.
It's pretty hard to match.
Yeah, it's different every time.
And that's the thing. That's the reason why. Like, trust me, we've thrown some big jams where there's been 500, 600 people, whatever. But the vibe's different. It's a more fresh vibe at Ubuntu, man.
Yeah, I remember how I see how certain jam changes, and I remember when I moved to Toronto, I used to go to this party, the Main Ingredient.
Yeah, of course.
With you guys?
No, that was what's his name, Jesse, right?
Okay.
Jesse and those cats. I don't think those guys throw gems anymore. Or I used to love that gem.
Yeah, exactly. And then it turned into something different eventually.
That's the sad thing. Sometimes things just change. There's parties that I've been to where I used to love it, how it used to be, and because of the changes, I've been like, eh.
Well, I feel like that's the problem, is that when you try to stick to a formula, it changes, but not intentionally.
Yes, I know.
You know what I mean?
I have seen it where certain things have kept through strong, like jams that have had their 20-year mark.
Yeah.
Like,
really.
There's only a few jams that can say that in this city, to tell you.
Take some dedication, eh?
Bump and Hustle would be one of them. They stopped, but they did it for 20 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was the same format. Like, same type of music, different tracks, but all like same vibe. That was like, and Footprints is
yeah.
I remember Footprints is one thing too. It's a beautiful thing. Like I remember the first year that had it. Like I remember when it wasn't all packed. I remember, and the beautiful thing about that, all types of dancers would come to that.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
every type of dancer, jazz, funk, or jazz, hip hop artists, housers. Like it was a nice thing.
Well, to be honest, when we did Ubuntu, I took in consideration all those jams, and because I went to all of them,
Yep.
and I had stuff to say about all of them.
Yep.
And especially Footprint, I went there and I really liked it. Like the first couple of times I went, and then eventually something started, bothering me a little bit. Is the endless ciphers?
Yeah. Well, see, I got to I was in Footprint when the ciphers weren't all there, when everyone was just kind of grooving in. And the ciphers, the worst ciphers, we pick four corners and just kind of get down. You know what I mean? So everyone still had more. But yeah, that's what happens. Like when everything turns into a circle,
that's fine, but you need to have a space that is adapted to this.
Yes, one little area. That's what I said back in the day. It could happen. It's no problem. I love dancers, and they're an essential part of the scene to me. They always have been, and there always will be. Some people say, dancers, they don't spend money. They just fuck that. That's their vibe.
Yeah,
it's dance music. It's fucking.
Yeah, they should be paid to go to jams.
I used to do that, man.
Yeah,
we used to do that 100%. Used to be like, yo, here.
It should be treated well, at least,
But now things have changed. I used to try to have a hyper reduced list. Like if it was a fucking $30 jam, a $10 list, or $5. Like that's how But I can't do that anymore because everyone bitches at me. But it is what it is. Things change. Things change.
But yeah, the problem with what I was gonna say is that now the problem is also that people are really passive in jams. That's what drive me nuts. And
passivism. What do you mean? Like
passive, and like they come and they just want to like people to witness in their social media that they are at this event, and they spend a lot of time on their phone. They're just more contemplative. They don't
watch. Yeah, they don't enjoy.
They don't participate.
I don't think. I think that's maybe part of the culture because they're always like this on their phone, and their phone like. Me personally, I do it because of promoting. I have to, as a promoter, get a vibe, catch it. That's it. Believe me, I've gone through 30 years with no phone, with no nothing. And even when I had something, I wouldn't bring it because it would get soaked.
Right.
I fucking fucked up my phones because I've sweat so much.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you go to certain jams now, there's the French communities here, and you go to jams and there's the French community, and you have Toronto people in the same room. And you can see so clearly the demarcation. You see all the French people getting down, and then you have all the Toronto people on their phone.
Oh, really?
It's very funny.
Well, Montreal did adopt the no cell phone thing a little earlier than we did. Like, because the few jams in Montreal, they said there's a few jams, even at some of the big clubs. I think Stereo did it too for a little while, where they actually said no cell phones allowed.
Really?
Like, you're not allowed to. They adopted that shit, and it worked and it didn't work. The way I see it is, I just have to accept it. Me and Sash, I can't remember which jam it was at.
It's
but we're at this jam last year, and I can't remember where it was. I can't, but maybe I should say what it was. Let's just put it this way. So this guy's this DJ's killing it, like amazing. We're like, yo, and me and Sash, we looked around. Every single freaking person around us is like, to the point where me and I was like, hey guys, just stop for a second, let's enjoy this. You know what I mean? It was like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, me and Sasha were like, yo, these people aren't, but that's it. They're doing exactly what you said.
They want to have that memory to look at, to watch later.
Like, I understand about a memory. Like my memory, if you're gonna do it even with my problem, a minute and something. Don't sit there for like 10 minutes.
Right.
Yesterday I was at we were at the return. There's this girl that's sitting right by the gym. She just sat there the entire time by the booth. I was like, yo, is that one of his reps, or is that a social media rep for him? She's like, no, that's just a fan. Like, she just stood there like this for like 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck?
But that's the thing that like African music is bringing now. Like I feel there's more, because it brings the dance element way easily.
And because it's a primal thing. Everyone wants to dance to it.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing about it too. That's the one thing I see at Ubuntu too. Everyone's just grooving, and I like it because I'm the only one that's using my cell phone because I'm promoting, obviously, and capturing the moment. But that's what I should be doing, and that's what they should be doing. You mean? It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I see that in concerts as well. Now it's crazy.
Oh,
Like
my brother.
people are just on their
You know,
phone.
like as a person who's been going to concerts for a very long time, like before cell phones were around,
Yeah.
you know, we'd have the freaking lighter and all that shit. Right. But now I'm like, I haven't been to any really big concerts recently, but the last one I went to, I was blown away by the amount of cell phones and everyone. Like, I was like, whoa, this is trippy.
It's very counterproductive. And I don't know how as an artist when you
It's trippy. Like, I'm supposed to go see Fish at this hippie band at Mosa Amphitheater. I think that's one of the only places where you won't, because it could be all hippies. I'll just be like, yo.
But it's it must be for artists. It must be like a mind fuck too, because you know that if you do any mistake, people are gonna...
they'll focus on it, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been I know a few DJs, again, I'm not gonna mention it, that will flip out if you're at the booth filming them.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you said the city needs more venues. Like, what was it like back?
Back in the day, we could go to, we could go Monday. Actually, no, we could go 7 days a week. Even on Mondays, there was something to do. I would say from '98. In the mid-90s, they had it too, but I would say the golden era of like something to do every day. You know, we're in our 20s, early 20s. I could have gone out every night if I wanted to, right? And I did a lot. But yeah, there's different venues, and the culture was different. People went out. You know what I mean?
I feel it's the same thing for younger people though.
If you wanted to hear a track, we couldn't go on. We couldn't go on nothing. We had to go to ask the DJ. That's the straight up truth. Like I remember having a little pen and a piece of paper, and if something I heard, I was like, yo, what is this? And most of the guys would be cool, and there's some guys who go, oh no. There's always those dudes too.
So yeah, now there's Shazam. What do you think of that?
I haven't used it once yet.
Really?
Not once.
Because you know all the songs already.
A lot of them I do know, but if I need to, I'm always seeing someone going like that.
Tell you what, let's build an app and let's call it Pradeep.
Yeah, right. there's Shazam. Like, you know, I guess maybe if I wasn't into music or didn't pay attention to the music that I love so much, I would love that. I honestly would. Yo, there's a song that I really like. What is that? But even when I hear songs that I really like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna find this. Sometimes it's an unreleased track, and I make the call and like, yo, what was that track you played, man? You know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't know. I guess it kind of like removed a certain aspect of DJing, because all those DJs who were you know, hiding the titles on their vinyls because they wanted to keep their, you know.
There's a lot of guys. I grew up in that era. I grew up in like mid '90s, and like even guys like in the early WMC days, they get they'd get little 45s, and they get little singles,
right?
Fresh singles from the producer. Like, hey, here's a, you know what I mean? You know, one of my favorites. And then there's guys who didn't care, and who would give you the name of the track right off the bat, and I love that. But there was a time where almost like where a lot of people would be, no, I've got to hold on to this.
So yeah, you're more of a, you think music should be shared, right?
You know what? Music's music, and realistically, like, those days are gone. Like, realistically, how long do you think nowadays you can get something? Back in the day when you had a vinyl, you could transfer it to a tape or whatever, play it. But now it's a whole different game. You just have to come with what you have. You pick out good music and you play it. There's so much of it that you shouldn't have to be worried about what you have. That's me personally. But there are still some guys that no, I don't share my track list. Some prominent DJs that are still like that, and I respect them because I'm friends with them. But they know how I feel about it. I'm like, yo, fuck that. Just let people know you spun.
I mean, yeah, it's
Like on tours, I could understand to a certain degree, right? Because they have to play the same thing, but realistically, you should be able to mix it up and still be able to convey that you're playing.
right.
You know what I mean?
I remember seeing this. I was playing at a jam at some point downtown Toronto, and I saw. I don't even know his name, but if I had, I would definitely say it. So we were playing after him. This random guy that was playing for some like after work private event.
Yeah.
This club downtown Toronto, and the guy was spinning, and we just get there, bring the equipment. And in the last 20 minutes, it was just playing all the bangers, like old school hip hop, like the stuff that we were thinking of playing later.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, you guys, you're going on right now. And I gotta go to the washroom. My buddy, go behind the booth, and the guy's playing a pre-recorded mix.
Oh shit! Busted.
I was shocked, man.
You know what?
Really shocked.
I haven't run across that. I haven't run across that personally. Which is, but I've heard, and I've heard in Europe, people, now it's the thing, people got, before all those videos where they show all the mixing, all the equipment, and nothing's hooked up. That's just real. It does happen. It did happen, because now they're super strict about that. But yeah, that's ridiculous. Can you believe that?
I don't know why you would hire someone like that, but I guess like some people don't care.
With corporate money, if you could come with that scam, they don't know about that shit. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm playing it. This is how every DJ does. Like, why not? To tell you the truth, yeah, those guys don't really. If they don't know about it, that's what they'll get.
You just take that mix from someone else and you just sell it.
Can you believe that? Yeah, that's brutal.
It is.
Brutal.
Did you only work for like underground events, or do you sometimes promote for more like?
You know what? I've been asked to promote. I'm not going to drop names for certain people who own certain clubs and this and that, and I always said no. And some people thought I was crazy, especially when I was first asked, because it's like a salary job.
Right.
It is. It's straight up salary job, like making tons of, like, a nice amount of money, let's just say that. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Like, my soul would sink. And I know I would crumble inside. I couldn't do that to myself. And I got a few offers, actually, overseas, too, for a few things, too. And I was like, no. Some of my friends there, they're not into music as much as I am, but they're into parties. Mm-hmm. And still, the tech house scene there, or that sound in Europe, that I don't even know what it is. That big festival fucking nonsense sound, it's big fucking money.
Yeah.
If they asked me to be a part of it, and maybe I could make some fake fucking promo name or whatever, and be like, yeah, I'll do it for you there, so no one knows it's me, and I just take the cash, maybe. But yeah, it's generally I have to feel music. If it's for a friend and it's a one-off thing, yeah, okay, cool, I'll help you out. But generally, it has to be music that I like. Not necessarily all underground, but unfortunately a lot of it is. But not even underground. What is underground nowadays? You know what I mean? To tell you the truth. But
yeah, what is underground?
That's what I mean. I wouldn't know. Like,
I like to say something that can't be found on Shazam.
I guess, yeah. And I know tons of music that can't be found on that shit. But I guess you could call that, because like, there's all types of new genres popping up too, right? Like, well, I don't know what new genres are, like ghetto funk. That's not new genres, but it's like came out within the last 3 or 4 years.
Have you heard of ghetto house?
I've heard of ghetto funk. Like, ghetto funk is like, what they take is they take all the riffs from all the classic hip hop and R&B songs we love, and turn it into like this funk song. Turn it into like a funk. It's actually dope. When I first heard it, I was like, oh shit.
So
well, not all of it. Well, from what I've heard, because it just reminded me, I guess, of a lot of times when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. So I was in Chicago with this guy who does Chicago footwork. I don't know if you heard of it.
Okay. Okay.
It's a dance that's been going on in Chicago for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And the music that they were dancing on is extremely fast.
Yeah.
It's like 160 BPM.
Yeah. I can't do that. But you gotta understand, Chicago's a little different too. Chicago has a lot of sides to it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a, like, you go to Chosen Few, like the jam that just happened last weekend, and you hear the sounds that they're playing. That's Chicago to me, right? But then there's also the other side. Like, there's the Derek Carter kind of bumpy. He steps it up a little bit, and then there's that. I like, me personally, the first time I went to gym, I had some friends with me. They was like, "Yo, come." Like, no offense, but I was just like, "Yo, I can't handle this. This is too fucking fast for me." It tripped me out, to tell you the truth. But I see a whole bunch of people my age enjoying it, and I was like, "Yo, you know, I can't say anything. To each their own." Detroit, you take Detroit for example too. Like, Detroit techno, it's the first time where I seen so many folk my age love a very different style of music. Like, techno's, it depends. Like, I don't mind good techno, and I'm not as versed in it as I used to be from back in the day. But one thing I know I don't like is tech house. I'm not a fan. I don't even know what that fuck. Like, I don't know. But it's the most, I guess, quote unquote popular thing, I'd say. No, I don't know. I don't really check out other jams. Maybe I should do that just to see what's going on. But I don't do it.
Apparently, that's.
I'll give an example. To tell you the truth, I've never set foot in Coda.
Oh, really?
Once. Can you believe that?
Even when the Black Motion. Black Motion was great.
I heard, like, even during those times, that's the only times I would go. But I've seen Black Motion plenty of times, and Black Coffee, but it's not my scene. Like, how was the scene there? Was it the same as other places?
It was no. I mean, like, I've been to Coda once.
So you've only been once.
No, I've been once, but when it was in Black Motion. And then I did Black Motion, and it was just different. It was Black a little bit of the usual scene, but then you had like the
you draw it in. Black Motion probably drew in. Same with Black Coffee. Black Coffee probably drew in too. But
it's also TK, you know. It's also TK.
Yeah.
So TK can move people, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Well, he's well versed in that community, man. He's one of those dudes that was doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard about him, I think I met him through Kush. Like, those guys were doing their thing at an earlier time because they started seeing other things. And I'm glad he started doing his own thing rather than kind of going under one promoter's name.
Right. Yeah, I find, like, nowadays, if you wanna throw your own jam, you need to become a little bit of a promoter too.
It's inevitable.
You have to.
It's honestly inevitable. It's not like back in the day where, okay, you know what? Back in the day, everyone would have a role, and that's it. You just stick to it. Boom.
Yeah.
And the guys doing it wouldn't have to do, like, they just do down the money, and then, yeah, it's all different. It's way different. Realistically, with social media and how everything is, everyone has to be. You're right.
How do you handle this whole social media thing?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've, you know, semi-recently had to take a little break because I was taking care of some stuff, and to tell you the truth, it felt nice. Like, just as long as you don't get wrapped up in it. You know, it's nice. One of my favorite things about it is to see my friends that I can't see.
Right.
You know? That's probably my favorite part of it. Like, and to promote jams and all that, and that's good. And keeping in touch with everyone is nice, but sometimes it can be a little overboard.
Yeah.
Like, it's a daily thing for me as a promoter. It kind of has to be. You have to stick into the stupid algorithm and all that jazz, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Which is fine, but I have seen people just use it the wrong way.
You ever
use it. Don't let it use you. You know what I mean?
You ever paid for a promotion on those tools?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
I never have yet. But it should work. Some people do. I find that, you know what? Yes, you can reach the 3,000 people or 5,000 people. Or, like, it can be. It does work. It's like,
a lot of promoters are doing that.
Oh no, it's true. Like, the reason why they don't do it because there's usually someone on the team that is.
Right.
Right. And if we have to pitch in towards it, we pitch in towards it. But we're not the ones that's doing it.
And you still find that flyers works?
You know what? Surprisingly, I think flyers do work, but not as well as they used to. Like, word of mouth of flyers, it's still gonna be here, and I think, but compared to how it used to be, like I remember when we used to walk out of clubs or out of jams, not even like underground jams, like non-venues, there'd be a gauntlet. Like when I say a gauntlet, I mean like 10, 15 people on each side.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, holy shit.
I have a friend in Montreal. I don't know if you know her, Leah McFly.
Leah McFly?
She's a whacker.
She's a whacker, okay.
Yeah, shout out to Leah. She hardcore old school. Like she organized this event in Montreal called Chocolate Jungle.
Okay.
And she still
flies.
She still flies.
No,
like she goes to event and promote.
We still do that.
Yeah.
We still do it. We still do. Like even for Groover in the Park, we still, because we still do that. Even for Secret Kind, a few things. We still do it, but I don't know if new school promoters do it. I'm not sure.
No, I mean, like I rarely see flyers from the new generation of promoters.
Yeah, I don't. To tell you the truth, it's probably better. It's environmentally.
It's paperless, yeah.
It's environmentally, it's much better. It's true. Like, you know what I mean?
I find like, you know, in Ubuntu we did it for a little bit, but then I find it just like such a waste.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and
we just do small targeted areas and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and then we get the numbers without the flyers anyway.
I know. That's the thing. I think it's just something that we're used to, and that's why we still do it. To tell you the truth, because there's still areas in the city that accept them, and it's maybe it's ingrained in some of us, but.
And so, you told me at some point.
To tell you the truth, I do agree with eventually, just because it is, we got to think about the environment and all that jazz. We're way more conscious than we used to be, so we should take advantage of that.
I do like stickers though.
Stickers, yeah.
Stickers are good, man.
Because they stick. You can't get the fuck rid of them, man.
I know, but if you have a good one with a good logo, people just like wear it. I'm still really surprised how now people just wear T-shirts with company names on it, like proudly. I see people walking around with like Google T-shirts and shit like that.
It's funny.
It's weird.
It's funny. I got a Google T. Yeah, I know. I don't mind merchandise. Merch is all right. Like the Ubuntu T-shirt, I love that shit. Yeah. And I love how it fits on me too. But but it's dope. Like a proper logo and a proper thing like that. Eventually, I want to do that with the Touch logo, because I gotta change my logo, because it looks good when it's big, but when it's small, it's too compact. But yeah, certain things. I remember the Footprints used to have the first year. I think it's the first year anniversary or second year anniversary. I still have the pins somewhere. They made a bunch of pins, and it was so dope. I wore that thing for like, I put it on every jacket I had for like 15 years.
Really?
Not 15, 12 years. Yeah, it was amazing.
Do you know a jam in Montreal called Moonshine?
Yeah. I've heard of that. I've heard of a few things in Montreal.
I don't know if you've seen the type of promotion they're doing. It's very interesting. It's very old school, and they have this they have this flyer where they never disclose the location until you need to send a text message.
One of those, yeah,
one of those secret location things.
Because that's how we used to do it, and there's a few people that still do that in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like I think even the Secret Beach does that.
Like,
that jam today.
Yeah.
There's the Secret Beach or whatever, right? It's not
really.
I'm
going tonight.
It's not really my type of sound.
Yeah.
Per se, but the party looks. Oh, you're going there. The brunch we're going to. They're all going to be there too.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So
I think they're actually friends with some of the people who throw it. That's those. I can't remember, Secret Society dudes or whatever.
I see. But it's
I don't know those guys.
It's oh shit! I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. I was there last year, and I was surprised. They actually played a little bit of Apple House.
Oh yeah, they'll mix it in. Just like I've gone to Sunday Social. I've gone to a whole bunch of other jams where I'm like, yeah, okay, good. They always drop it in because it's a form and it's there. You gotta accept it. And people go nuts when they do it. When they throw it in the little dose, that's a little primal release for them, man. I'm like, yo.
What do you think of I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it well, but com?
Which one?
You know that sound from South Africa, GQOM?
Say that again. The what?
Com.
Com?
Yeah, GQOM.
GQOM.
Yeah, we play a lot at the Ubuntu. It's you know, Destruction Boys, all those guys.
Oh yeah. Okay. Again, it's like these are things that are newer to me.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I'm not well versed in that, so anything new that I dig, I'm like, yo, it's kind of fresh on the ears. When something's fresh on the ears and I like, it's nice.
I find every time it brings like a crazy energy,
The
like
primal,
even more. Yeah,
the primal,
it's really primal.
the primal
Yeah.
comes out, man.
Definitely.
Now I see it in the crowd too. But that's what I love.
Yeah, Mugen introduced that to me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. That guy is very shout out to him. He's really extremely curious.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what's that does it. And in this time right now with everything that's available, being curious is a very good thing.
Yeah, when I met him, like we had a really good like music relationship because he's really intellectual about his way to apprehend music, and his curiosity and his culture with music. It was like a good plug to start this relationship to eventually build Ubuntu.
Good.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It's always good to have everyone on different tips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's where everyone kind of comes in from different angles. If everyone's on the same page, sometimes it can be easier and nice, but on the creative side of things, and to keep things fresh, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what do you think of radio nowadays? For with the era we live in, where everything is accessible, you can listen to anything you want.
Now, like to tell you the truth, like the only time I listen to the radio is to listen to the Higher Ground show, and a few shows on CIUT, and a few shows on university radio, university or college radio, because those guys will still keep it fresh. But now it's all satellite stuff, this, that, rah.
Yeah, podcasts too.
Oh yeah, all that jazz. Like I forgot about that. Yeah, true. Like,
everybody does podcasts. Like you can get something and it just pop-ups on your phone and you can listen to it whenever you want.
It's kind of crazy. Like I'm still not 100% used to it because I'm still like, I'm that guy that will be in the car with Sasha and be like, listen, I'm like, babe, let's just try the radio. She hates it. She hates it every time. Like, let's flip through and let's see if we can find a random weird track that we like. I still do that and she hates it. She's like, we're not gonna find anything. The odd time we do. Yeah, times have changed. Like that's how we used to do a lot of promo too, the radio.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's a format, unless it becomes like vinyls. Like it's this format that people cherish. The thing that happened with vinyl is very interesting. Like it just almost like all those formats eventually disappear, but this one just stick for some reason.
No, see with vinyl, a lot of the press companies shut down. This, that, rah. And then there's a little bit of a resurgence, so it's sticking around. But yeah, for some reason, I guess because radio waves, getting a radio wave, or I don't know how 100% works, but people still do it.
But there's a collecting aspect of it, the collection aspect of it, because otherwise, like, everything is wrong about the vinyl. Like, it's so big, and now the vinyls are even more expensive than they used to be.
I know, it's ridiculous.
They're thicker too.
It's everything's different. Well, the presses are all like the companies who are pressing them. Like back in the day, there's an overflux of them too, because sometimes there'd be some bad presses. You get warped records and shit like that. It was funny actually, like terrible quality. I don't know how it is. Like there's even 2 press companies in Toronto too, right? Well, isn't that record store in Spadina? Don't they press records too? Don't they?
Maybe.
That's what I heard.
But yeah, so eventually there's some format or some old technology that survives because there's this whatever, for whatever reason, that wants to keep it. So maybe radio will stay something like that, but I doubt it. It's like TV.
Yeah, you know what? Like cable. I still have cable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sport, I imagine.
That's one of the
Like
main
everyone,
reasons.
yeah.
That's one of the main reasons, right? But I still will watch TV because just to watch, even though I could watch the whole series sometimes, blah blah. But yeah, mainly for sports. I hate that freezing shit. But you know, all my old school boys, they don't want to, like, bro, you're crazy. You should just stream. Until streaming's 100% like locked and clear, which I don't know if that's possible. You know about that shit more than I do. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll jump ship. But until then, I'll fucking have cable till that shit dies out.
I don't know how cable works. That's the thing.
Cable, you never have to worry about it fucking shutting down, really. It's not gonna freeze.
Well, the real problem is mostly like your bandwidth. If your bandwidth is shit, like it's gonna freeze.
That's what it is, the bandwidth?
Yeah. If you have like a shitty internet speed, potentially.
I've never really had, like, I have streamed and I've never had issues with that, but only for short periods of time.
Right.
Nothing, like, you know, nothing wrong. Like, I can't, like, a full movie and stuff like that. Like, all my boys are like, oh man, you can watch this movie, stream. I haven't done it.
But that's the thing is,
Like,
it's internet you share with other people potentially. It's like water, you know. If eventually everybody opens the, well, you know, we had the same problem like back in the days with like phones. Like on New Year's, everybody, I know in France it was like that. On New Year's, everybody wanted to call at the same time, so you couldn't reach anyone. That's the same thing.
Yeah, back in the day it was like that. Yeah, true.
Everybody wants to stream the game at the same time, so
It's just an influx of.
It's challenging, yeah. It's challenging for the network. But yeah, what was I gonna say? So what's next for you in terms of do you have any like project that you just like let the promoting drive you?
You know what? Eventually we'd like to have a venue.
Oh really?
Straight up. That's what we want.
In Toronto?
Yeah. Eventually.
And
some investors and a few things, and I think because to tell you the truth, there's no home for proper deep house.
right.
In my opinion, in the city, unless you know of a place that just kind of strictly or sticks to good stuff, good soul, good funk, like all that gold. There used to be a few places like that, but and with proper sound. Right investors, you get all that, it's gold.
I mean, let's be honest. If in Canada you didn't have this all alcohol license, things would be way easier to make jams, right?
Oh, you mean if you don't need the SOP and all that? Yeah, man, it would be. We gotta stick up our ass, and it's just gonna be like that. I wish that we didn't have to worry about that. Look, see, that's one thing. Getting the space, like I don't want to just have a venue where it's just, oh, you have to get your SOP. I want to have a venue that's licensed. I don't care who I have to fucking grease.
Well, that's the thing, because now it's all about the venue and not about the organizers. If you don't have this thing, then you can take any venue and throw something.
Yeah, that's what people do. Like that's what the guys at 500 Keel did. Like they had that venue, and I want to have a venue where like-minded people, like-minded promoters, like-minded people that are into the same music that we're into have a little home. Like, you know how Coda's its home for those type of, not for that sound.
Right.
I should say that. Not saying anything about the people or anything. It's just that sound. Or like, you know, Nest mix it up. It goes all over the place. But I want, yeah, that'd be something to look forward to. It's gonna take a chunk of years, but hey man, I'll have something to do in my 60s.
So what do you think Canada still applied this thing?
Say that again.
I mean, it's a larger topic. Maybe we won't have time, but the fact that you still need you still need to have this control over alcohol. It's obviously big money.
Yeah, it is. Like maybe with the weed things will change it out a little bit. Who knows? Like it is alcohol and anything that makes you feel good or that helps out, that's big money. And it's just the way it is. If there's somewhere we could bypass that shit, that'd be dope.
Yeah, because, I mean,
I guess if you opened a distillery, then you'd have fucking 100% full control.
right. It's just crazy, man, because it's just treating citizens like children, basically. They can't indulge themselves on the streets.
Yeah, you know why? It's crazy. It's because we're a fucking brand new country still. We really are. We're only 150 years old. Compared to everywhere else, we're fucking...
Yeah,
like,
but
we still got our diapers on.
Yeah, but Canada is way more open than other country with respect to a lot of things.
Oh, it is. But with this one thing, I don't know, because... Like, you know, with the weed, it's a beautiful thing and all that jazz, lala. The liquor, I don't know. I think there's crazy stigma attached to it.
Yeah, there's definitely, when you look at the history of alcohol, especially with all the migrant that came here in the beginning of the country, and the art labor and the relationship with alcohol. I looked into this at some point.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really interesting. Like the damages that alcohol did to a lot of people who were immigrating here.
Yeah, well, that was a staple thing, and it was a way to keep people. Like, that's like, you know, Al Capone and St. Catharines had 2 houses, eh? No word of a lie. Yeah, St. Catharines and in Grimsby. For real. Good old Canadian whiskey.
Yeah. There's actually this scene in the Untouchables.
No, it's the truth. Like, it's 100%.
It's a real story, eh?
Yeah. I got old school buddies who have old school parents, and they tell me some stories.
All right, almost there. Need to turn in this garage. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what we're gonna do with Ubuntu. We need to find the right spot.
Well, we might have a spot, but we'll talk about this off.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, and let's do a shout out for August 10th.
Yeah, August 10th, man. Stan Zeph.
Yeah, Stan
Ubuntu,
Zeph.
Solid Garage, Touch, Remo. Yo, all in the house for some goodness. Revival. It's gonna be a dope jam, man. And it's the first time this group has kind of all worked together, and I think we'll be doing a lot of things in the future too. To tell you the truth, I think it'll work out really well.
It's a good cross-generational.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we can do some big things.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Last time, Stan Zeph, the jam was very fire, but it was really small too.
Yeah, but those are my favorite. Like, I love the small jams because we've had Stand Up Revival was been packed out, and it's great and it's fun. But you know, when you get that nice little intimate vibe and everyone's just warm, you hear the voices, you hear that vibe was so good. That was such a good jam.
Have you ever like set up the capacity a little lower to keep, you know, people space to be able to dance, or usually like go till
like what till Revival?
Yeah, to a jam in general.
You know, there's twice where we control jams for that reason. We're like, we want to keep the space here, but we can't do that because if there's people that want to come in, and we did that, and I got so much shit for it. Like, oh, fucking, I got a lot of shit for it because people still want to come in, and we were saying, no, you can't. You have to wait till people come out, man. We need our space. I learned that lesson. I'm not gonna do that again. It'd be nice if it was just like a naturally. Well, I'll tell you this. Like the last time it was like that, I think the last Break for Love jam we had at Revival, it was dope because not Break for Love. Sorry, I mean Danny Crivet. Love jam. Danny Crivet.
There's another entrance. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Danny Crivet. I looked around the place, and everyone had like you could do a circle with your arms, and I was like, "Yo!" Me and Sarika, another old school dancer, like, "Yo, bro, check this. This is the vibe that we used to love." It was the best. Like the entire place was like that. You know what I mean? That shit doesn't happen too often, but when it does, I was like, "Yo!" I even broke out some steps that time. I was like, oh shit, gotta take advantage of this good. It was nice. Other than that, I haven't seen that in years. There's a time at Toika when everyone had space and everyone was dancing on the Thursdays.
Yeah, that thing was very good.
That was like, there was a time when that vibe was on point and every single person was just dancing. And not necessarily ciphers in their circle, but everyone's just doing their thing. Like that's, I was like, yo, that was the closest thing that reminded me of some old times. When that jam was in its prime. Hold on for 1 second, I'm just gonna tell me that.
Oh, let's just wrap this up first.
Oh shit, sorry.
And then, yeah. So,
Word.
Pradeep Verghese, promoter extraordinaire. And see you at the next Ubuntu.
Yeah, man. Cheers, everyone. Peace.